John, Jim, Corey, and Patrick. Want to take a minute and talk to the three of you about a dynamic that we have in place right now with this time of year. Typically around May, we have to not only continue to lead our Kids Zone services like we normally do, but there's also a thinking shift that we have to make to begin to plan for the next year. So there's a lot of dynamics that are taking place now. We have people that are graduating high school and moving off to college, and many times we lose many of our team members. And it's also a time of year that some people may look to shift off of the Kids Zone team. Typically, we try to ask people for a full school year commitment. So at this time of year, we're looking for people's commitment to end. Always love to get people to recommit, ask them to continue to serve. But it's also a time of year that many people shift off of our team. So what do we do right now? It's very important that we continue to lead our teams with excellence, continue to lead our Kids Zone services and experiences with excellence to make sure we're really giving all the kids who attend a really good quality experience. At the same time, we have to look to the future and begin to plan, if we've not already begun to plan, begin to plan for what's going to happen when we hit September, when we lose some people and we have to get new people in place. So Pastor Sarah has, I think, scheduled something on a Sunday afternoon for all of us to get together, me, Sarah, and the three of you, to just talk about these dynamics. There are several things that come into play when we hit this time of year and we begin to think about these transitions and people that are moving off, people that are jumping on. What I like to do is I like to look at the Kids Zone team as a whole. So many times we're functioning as a Saturday team, a 9:30 team, an 11:15 team. But as we're getting ready for the fall, I want to look at the whole team and make some decisions based on everybody that we have available. So when we get together and talk with the five of us, I want to look at everybody that we have available and make some decisions on who is the best fit for each one of the services. So as we evaluate our existing teams, we're going to discover that maybe some services are really strong with worship leaders, other services are weak with worship leaders. One service might have a lot of guys in it, another service might have very few guys. So what I like to do is I like to evaluate everything as a whole and even make decisions about some people that we would consider moving from one service to the other. I know that's sometimes a difficult thing, especially when we've developed a lot of rapport with people that are on our team. But I do like to get together with everybody and make some decisions together to come up with a plan to create the best experience at all three services. So a couple things that we can do to prepare for this meeting that we're going to have and begin to think about what next year is going to look like. The first thing is we have to ask the question, who are we losing? So the primary people that we're going to be losing are graduating seniors that are moving off to college. So it would be good for each one of you to identify who are your seniors that are serving in your service and begin to have conversations with them. Here's some examples. Jack McAuliffe last year, he was graduating, going off to college, but he chose to go to Pitt. He was staying local and he continued to serve. So what I'd like for each one of you to do is identify who your seniors are and find out if they're going to be traveling somewhere else, if they're moving out of state, and ask them if they want to continue to be involved with Kids Zone. I don't know anyone that's leading a group now that we wouldn't want to continue to be on our team. So please begin to have those conversations and ask them if they're going away to school, and if they're staying local, ask them if they would be willing to continue to serve, because we'd love to keep them. Then you also want to get a gauge for everybody else on your team and determine if anybody else is leaving. So first question is, who are we losing? Next question is, what are our empty positions? Once you figure out who you're going to lose, who's going away to school, and maybe who's stepping off the team, you also want to look at your team as a whole. And pretty much every service has had people step out throughout the year for some reason or another. So as a whole list, make a list of everybody that you have on your team, where they're serving, and then identify each position that's going to be empty. Our ideal setup would be that we have 12 small group leaders, kindergarten boys leader, first grade boys leader, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the same thing on the girls' side. So identify which small group positions are going to be empty, and then you also want to identify which worship leading or presenting positions are going to be empty. So think about your primary presenters and identify if any of them are going to be leaving. because those are some things that we have to figure out as we plan for this coming year. So, looking at the 11:15 service, Sean Braithwaite is a graduating senior. He is doing the ministry school. I'm hoping that he's going to continue to be involved with Kids Zone, but we do want to figure that out because if he's not, we're going to have a pretty significant gap with our worship leading and our presenting. So each one of you, Patrick, Jim, and Corey, you want to ask those questions and determine what positions do we have to fill before we hit the fall. Pastor Sarah and I are typically going to be trying to do a lot of the recruiting, but we want to do that along with you. And if you're able to jump into the recruitment with us, that would be a huge help. If you know of somebody that you'd like to join one of our Kids Zone teams and you wanted to approach them, please do that. That is a great thing to do because they're going to pretty much be working under your leadership throughout the school year. It'd be great if you were the one to bring them on board. Now, the next question is, who are we looking at to join our teams? Pastor Sarah and I typically are going to be making a lot of contacts to try to get people to join the team. This quarter up through June, Pastor Sarah and I want to add 20 new people to our children's ministry team on weekends and Wednesdays. So we're doing a lot of recruiting. I think right now we probably have got a commitment from about 12 people that are going to be joining our teams. We want to continue to add people to that. But when we identify people to join our team, we're going to get them to come. They're going to check out Kids Zone. We want you to be working with your team to incorporate them into the ministry. So some things that you can do is make sure they're shadowing somebody, make sure they're in a group with somebody that's going to help teach them, and really set them up for success. A couple people that we're looking to add, John Stephen Avery is one of them. Logan Redinger, Miriam Lane, Austin Garrett, and Morgan Kapler are some 8th graders that are looking to move up to 9th grade and join our team. They've all committed in some capacity to be on our team. We have to make sure that they fully understand the commitment and that they're going to be ready to lead. What I'd like for each one of you to do is, if one of them are in your service or if it's someone else not on the list, make sure we are intentionally investing in them. You want to team them up with your best small group leaders that are not just going to do a good job leading the small group, but also going to take the time to teach them and explain what's going on there. We also have some older teens that are going to be joining our team. So Grace Miller is looking to join the 11:15 service. And then also Kevin, Martha's friend, I don't even know his last name, is interested in getting involved. We want to figure out how to get them incorporated in what we're doing. And then if there's any adults that we can get to join our team, let's look to get them involved too. So all these things are things that we can talk about when we meet. We also need to develop a good plan to make sure that everybody is fully trained. So that's the last thing. What are we doing to prepare these people to join the team so that we're ready for the fall? So we want to do a lot of things. You may or may not know this, but I created a whole new training video. It's 30 minutes long, so as soon as someone wants to join our team, we send them that video and the policy manual. As long as they watch that video, they read and sign the policy manual, they should be good to jump in. Unless they're over 18, then they have to also get a background check. So keep that in mind as we're adding people. We're going to take them through that process, but it will be up to you to get them into a good small group and get them teamed up with somebody on your team to help teach them, because when we hit September and we lose a lot of our key seniors, we want them to be ready to just jump right in and be able to lead. All right, looking forward to meeting with all of you. One thing to keep in mind is we're giving people different experiences and getting them involved. We want to set them up for success, put them in situations that are low risk, but still giving them some quality experiences. That's something I forgot. So in small groups, you don't want to just throw them to the wolves. You want them to be with somebody that can help them out. We don't want to just throw them on stage. We want them to be able to gradually move into things and have some successes under their belt. So keep that in mind as you're giving them opportunity. We'll talk about a lot of this when we meet in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to be able to talk to you. Just let me know. I'll see you guys all soon.